What is going on, everybody? Man, Micah's back with another video. Back here, as you guys just saw me do my unboxing video for the iPhone 15 Pro. Yes, 512 gigabytes. Got the smaller one because I enjoyed using the smaller version of the 14 Pro, and my goodness, is this color fantastic in person. The first thing I want to address is the fingerprints. As you guys probably see in B-roll, the fingerprints are not bad on this by no means. They do stand out from time to time. If anything, the fingerprints give it a slight rustic look because of the natural titanium color. And with that in mind, it is very much more on a silver based look. It oddly kind of reminds me of the HTC One M8, and the framing is where you get an ever so slight, again, rustic or bronzian undertone, but it is most definitely more silver than what is advertised, and I'm actually not mad at that at all. I find this to be very enjoyable, very beautiful device, and by looking at the camera rings on the back, they look stunning as well. Wow, what a device that Apple has developed this time with the iPhone 15 Pro. Now, what are some of the things that have changed on the hardware as opposed to anything else? That's what we're going to start off with first. And as we guys know, titanium. It is built out of titanium, less weight, more durable, and it is noticeable when holding the iPhone 14 Pro. It is definitely noticeable, especially when you wave it like this. You feel that top heaviness, probably because of the camera modules as well on the 14 Pro, as opposed to the 15 Pro feeling so much more lighter, and it's more rounded around the edges than the 14 Pro. More rounded, feels better in the hand. You feel some more of the curvature around the glass on the front and back of the 15 Pro, adding additional comfort when in the hand. That's something that I definitely appreciate about the 15 Pro over the 14 Pro. And the other change is the bezels have shrunk to the slightest degree, but it is noticeable when looking at the display on the 15 as opposed to the 14 Pro. What else has changed hardware wise? The A17 Pro chip. You get that in the iPhone 15 Pro. It boosts somewhere between a 10 and 13% increase in overall performance, and somewhere around 16 to 20% boost in GPU. And given that it has a Pro name now, I was hoping that we would have got more than just a 10% incremental boost over the A16, because by that measure you should have just called it the A17 as opposed to the A17 Pro. If it's going to be more Pro, yeah, you could say maybe they unlocked or overclocked it a little bit more, essentially the A16 chip. But I think the A17 Pro should have had much larger margins in terms of increase in overall performance, GPU, graphics, the whole nine, somewhere in the realm of 25+%, in my personal opinion, to really differentiate between the A16 and the A17 Pro. But nonetheless, that chip improves gaming performance in terms of ray tracing, looks better, and now essentially qualifies the iPhone as an official gaming console, because Apple is touting this is going to be one of the best gaming consoles on the market. We'll see. On this channel, probably not, because I don't do a lot of mobile gaming, but that is something Apple is hedging their bets on when it comes to the iPhone 15 Pro. And the other hardware change that we have seen is a new camera system, primarily the 48 megapixel that we get as a main shooter. And with the 14 or 15 Pro Max specifically, there's an additional 5x zoom lens that gives you 120 millimeters worth of focal length, whereas on the 15 Pro it stops at 77 millimeters, which is still solid for a telephoto lens being at 3x. But we still get all the good camera goodness inside the phone as well. And that leads to software. And that leads to the last hardware feature outside of the cameras, and that is the new noticeable difference along the frame, which is, yes, the action button. An official change to the iPhone, which has been a very long time. And the action button now allows you to change between essentially 7 to 8 settings which could actually expand more because one of the other actions you can use is shortcuts. So you have the standard silent mode, you have focus modes that could essentially be do not disturb or something customized. You have camera, you have flashlight, you have nothing, you have voice memos, and of course shortcuts can expand that as well, potentially even Google Assistant if you're trying to get a little funky with it. But yes, the action button is here to stay, and I think that the action button will revolutionize the iPhone 15 Pro series or the iPhones in general going forward, because of the simple fact that the expandability of the action button can add additional presses and press and holds. So initially you press it to let you know what current state whatever action you have assigned it is. Most likely if you press it once, it will probably launch what app or what new action you're using. But let's say you're using silent mode still as an alert slider, but now it's just an alert button. If you press it, it'll show you in the dynamic island / top left notification center area near the clock what setting your phone is in. Is it in sound mode or in silent mode? If you press and hold it, it'll give you like 2 vibrations or 2 haptic feedback vibrations to let you know that you've now switched to silent mode. And then if you press and hold again, it'll give you 1 vibration to let you know you're now in sound mode. So you can still get away with reaching your hand in your pocket, pressing and holding the action button to switch between silent and sound mode on your iPhone 15 Pro. But in the future, via software updates, Apple can add the capacity to double press the action button to allow other features. Allowing that versatility or diversity in selections is what's really going to change the momentum of the iPhone 15 series when this action button appears on all iPhones. And so that is something that I found to be very interesting, and it does make the phone look a little different now because of it being a button and no longer a slider. Now, speaking of software, iOS 17 has dropped goodness upon all iPhones. And the first thing we're going to talk about is always on display standby mode. Always on display launched with the 14 Pro series, and now we have the ability to use standby mode, which means when you're using it docked on some type of MagSafe charger in landscape mode, it will then appear a new screen with your standby. And within standby, you can customize it and assign it different clocks and different little widgets that you want to use or interact with when it's in standby mode. So that way, if you're using it on the regular during the day, you can have information that you'd like to display. But then also at night, you can have additional information, including changing the color of everything to red to help assist in sleep. So I find that to be also very, very interesting when it comes to software and Apple taking their hardware that they implement serious, especially the next year going forward. So shout out to Apple with the always on display. Also, updating their phone app. You have now the ability to use the NFC chip within the iPhones to closely pair with another phone, an iPhone, closely pair them together to then name drop or share content via AirDrop. And your contact poster / profile picture is something that you can customize yourself within the phone app to then design yourself a nice little photograph that will appear on the other person's phone when you're calling or when they call you. And I find it to be very, very nice because it adds a level of customization to the phones and gives the phone something real nice to look at when somebody's calling you. So play around with that if you haven't already. Play around with that feature because I think you're going to appreciate it in the long run. And along with that, voicemail, live voicemail, bringing back the old classic phone. When somebody calls, you don't pick up and they start leaving a voicemail, you can just pick up the phone while they're leaving a voicemail and talk to them. That is now here with iOS 17. Yes, you can send them straight to voicemail if you're not trying to pick up the phone right then and there. And as they're speaking, they'll give you the live caption catch of the voicemail that's being left, and then you can, if it's important, pick up that phone, say hello, what's up. Great idea by Apple to do that as well. Siri also has gotten an update to just simply say Siri. You don't have to say, hey Siri. Good job, Apple, removing one extra word so that way we can get to what we're actually searching for or seeking answers to. iMessage, another focal app, central app to the iOS ecosystem, has also received an abundance of changes and updates, meaning optimizations to single message replies, replying straight to a specific message that has been optimized and is much more fluid to jump in and out of. Swiping to the right on a message will open up the screen for you to reply then to, and then just tap somewhere on the outside, it will go right back to normal, and then it'll even show you where the message is linked to that is referencing the previous message. Live stickers is here, meaning you can take a live photo and transition it into a live sticker, and then take that live sticker and supplant it onto a message within your message thread of whoever you're dealing with to add some fun to messaging friends and family. And the other thing is the mini apps has also been updated. Now they appear in a vertical row by clicking the plus button, and you can also customize the layout of the mini apps so that way you can have all the apps that you actually want to. All right, no one's talking to you. So now you can rearrange the mini apps in the order that you actually want, and actually go into settings and actually take out certain mini apps that you don't use. And all you have to do is go to settings and then go to iMessage, and then there is an app setting there for you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful features from Apple. And the last feature for iMessage is the search filter. It makes it easier for you to search for specific messages within the message app with the search bar at the top. I also want to throw that in there real quick because I have found that to be very useful looking for people or looking for a specific message that I sent somebody or that somebody sent me. And the last notable mention software update is haptic touch. Within accessibility, if you go to haptic touch, you can change how fast or slow you want your press and hold to respond to. That adds a little bit of the 3D touch back to the iPhone by being able to quickly access settings without having to jump within the app. You can jump right to a specific setting by pressing and holding on an app if they have additional settings like YouTube, like the App Store, right? Like almost any app really in iOS, they have additional features you can access by just pressing and holding. And I find that to be very, very neat in iOS 17. So those are the software features. Battery life incrementally improved. I think it's like a 2-3% gain over last year in terms of the milliamps on the battery. But I think that with the smaller the smaller, oh my goodness, architecture of the A17 Pro, I believe it's 3 nanometers. The additional optimizations and efficiency of the cores, iOS 17, and of course being a brand new phone, you're gonna get good battery life out of the iPhone 15 Pro. Now, to be fair, if you did go for the Max model, of course you're gonna get even better battery life there. And we'll see. As much as I like this, the titanium has convinced me that having a Max model may not be bad now because it weighs less. So maybe with the iPhone 16 series, I may entertain the larger model device. But right now, I'm loving the small nature of the Pro and the fact that this looks very good in this natural titanium is all I needed in my iPhone. So let me know down in the comment section below if you've gotten an iPhone. What color did you get? What kind of iPhone did you get? Did you get a new iPhone 15 series device? Did you get an iPhone 14 series device? 13, SE? Let me know down in the comment section below. And also let me know what you guys want me to look out for when I start doing my first impressions and my testing of the iPhone 15 Pro. What would you like to know and for me to bring out in the upcoming videos? The comment section is open for discussion. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, the notification bell so it's my videos. So sit back, check, see what's cracking. Trend Micah signing out to the next video. Wait for it.